to show you a patchwork called A Woman with Nothing to Lose by Delaney West, and I'm going to tell you what it made me feel and what Delaney wants to tell us here. As you can see, there are a lot of colors, and in this patchwork, Delaney tries to show how she's Romanian, and she's proud with that. How she's proud she's not Western, and with all that, and how she accepts her family, her life, her culture, and with the box clothes, you see, she tries to tell us how she keeps fighting and how she confronts challenges with that. And it's really affecting because, you know, in these days, Romanians are really getting pressured by other people, and I really liked how she accepted it and how she proud of it, and I really want to show you that. And here we are with the work called Pillowcase by Sonia Boyce. Firstly, in this work, Sonia Boyce tried to show us how in our century or in our days, how people surrounded by some just few words like tall, how beautiful you are, or how handsome you are, what work you do. But in reality, we are people, we are so different from each other. But if we think just for a few words, we're all the same. I'm same height as a lot of women. I'm same built as a lot of women. But in reality, I'm so different from them. We are so different from each other. In that work, Sonia Boyce is trying to show how people make themselves so basic. Like, if just for a few words, people explaining themselves, and there are just some few words about them, and that's it. And why I show this to you is because it's really affected me, because it's really showing our century or time in this work. So I hope that we understand that we are not just about some few sentences. We are people, we are alive, we have a lot of different points from each other, and I hope we just understand that and not defining ourselves with those basic words. Here we are with the work called Preserve Beauty by Anya Galicio. It's telling us how beauty couldn't be kept till forever, and when you try to keep this beauty till forever, it making it worse, and it's going to lose its spark, and it's going to be rotten by time, which make it worse, as you can see. And in that time, Anya Galicio was trying to keep these flowers fresh. She tried to change them all the time, but at the end of them, they're really rotten. And if we come to part that why I like this work, it's because it's telling to people that don't try to keep this beauty till forever, and just live at the moment, live with the moment, that beauty, because it's gonna be worse, and in that time you won't able to have fun with that beauty, and you're trying to keep it, and you can't keep it, so it's making worse. That's why I like it. Now I'm going to show you and talk about the portrait called The Tortoise Trainer, made by Osman Hamdi, and what it really wants to say, what people think that the portrait said. As you can see in the portrait, there are turtles. There is a man who wears a hat with scarves on it, and that hat is symbolized as he's Kurd by Osman Hamdi. He tries to show us he's a Kurd, Mardin Kurd specifically, and with his bag that looks like a turtle, and with the traditional dresses, with his flute. And as an extra information, this portrait illustrated in Bursa, the Green Mosque. And if we come to the part how this illustration has been made, we can say in the article that Tour de Monde, in the illustration called Tour de Monde, there's a Korean tortoise trainer which make turtles turn around with a little music, with a little rhyme around it. And when Osman Hamdi reads about that, he thinks it could be a really good idea for his illustration. And then he read it and think about it, and he did this illustration. But some people thought that this was an illustration about the first of the 20th centuries in Ottoman Empire, which people think like there's a tortoise trainer and there are turtles. The trainer tries to train the turtles, which is covers with the reforms that trying to show to people how it's happening, how things going to change, and people cover their eyes and ears. They keep just living with that same thing. And as you can see in the portrait, they keep eating the lettuce maybe. They're not listening, they're not following the trainer. And it's covered with that time in the Ottoman Empire. People cover their eyes and ears and not see the reforms and how the things is going to be better. And they're just not seeing the reforms and how they're not care about the reforms, and they just accept the bad lives that the empire gives them, and they just keep living with them. And some people think like that, but in the meantime, which Osman Hamdi thinks, it's happened with that articles that is about Korean tortoise trainer. And I really want to tell you about that because I think it's really interesting that it's covered with the time, it's covered with the empire situation at the time. Here it is, a portrait of Yusuf Agha-Efendi, who is our first permanent embassy in Ottoman Empire. He was embassy for England, and if we want to talk about why he was chosen, because he was good at foreign languages and he was good at his job, and he selected as a permanent embassy. And if we want to talk about why we are going to the permanent embassy system as an Ottoman Empire, is because in that time, in that century, the Western, the Europe was so forward of us. As a diplomatically, as a politically, as if in international relations, they were really, really forward. They were really ahead of us. And in that case, we wanted to catch them up, catch the Western powers as political, diplomatically, and that's why we sent permanent embassy. And as if you thought about why we selected England and not France, because in that time our diplomatic relations with France was really good, and they were surprised too. We didn't send our first permanent embassy to France, and we sent it to England. And even though we had a good relationship with France, we sent it to England because it was better as diplomatically. It has more benefits to the empire, and that's why we choose it. And in the end of the 18th century, he completed his mission with a report which is called Havadisname. And in that report, he talked about social reforms, politics, and how the Ottoman Empire, how was the Ottoman Empire in that time, and that's it. He was a good